Thank you very much. Thank you for listening to us tonight. Everybody at home, thank you for turning on your TV onto this channel this time. Got a little song called If You Want to Get to Heaven, Gotta Raise a Little Hell.
Hey, Color Me Dad is a podcast about anything we think is interesting or funny, including lots of music and pop culture discussion, and of course dadisms ad-libbed by us, three friends who have cracked each other up for the last 25 years. We hope you love our new episode, Oh Andy, Where Art Thou?
Y2K, man.
There he is. Man,
finally caught up with us.
is Andy coming?
This is we've been gone for a minute. This is our first show back since Christmas.
Yeah.
Did you have a good Christmas?
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Well, there was ice everywhere, and so we didn't get to go anywhere that we were planning to go to for Christmas. That was kind of tough.
Oh shoot! I was just sitting here thinking. I guess I'm so burnt from my past years that I was sitting there. I was like, "What happened?"
There was ice.
We didn't get to go. We didn't get to go to my parents. We didn't get to do. Yeah, same.
Yeah, so we waited like a week or something. We waited a few days, and then my kid was sick, so we didn't go. And then we put it off another few days, and then we went and had a great time.
Right.
And then the next day, my dad had COVID. Oh. In two and a half years.
So not only was it your dad has COVID and you're worried for him, but also we were just with Dad.
We just sat at a table, played cards, had a great time.
It's always.
The next day, Dad's got COVID.
Always.
It's like the story. In 2.5 years, we hadn't really went and done that to that level, and my parents never got COVID until we were coming over. Yeah.
Dang Chicago Red, man. Had to be.
You got to lower that mic a little bit.
Sorry.
I mean, just yeah, there you go. Yeah.
I've been watching Lemmy videos.
Lemmy from Motorhead.
Yeah, you ever saw Lemmy?
Motorhead guy?
Lemmy's always got the mic way up here.
Oh yeah,
and he's
right.
looking at doing that. It's on the tape. That's what he does. Yeah, it was a good Christmas. It's cool being a dad at Christmas.
Yeah, of course.
It's really, really cool.
What's your favorite thing about being a dad at Christmas?
Just watching just seeing the excitement, because it's been gone for so. I think we talked about this on another show. Christmas was just
in your 20s is gone.
Yeah, and it's just so cool to. But now, my youngest, my 14-year-old, which just a year ago was still just as stoked about Christmas as ever. This Christmas was totally like, "Hey man, those are your presents. Yeah, just go get them later." Just totally didn't care. And it's like, no, you're going to open them. Then you get mad. No, you're going to open them mad because those were expensive. I want to see you smile.
You smile.
You smile.
Enjoy it. I don't sense a lot of enjoyment.
Open it again. Now do it right.
And then mow the grass.
Yeah. But that was cool though. I will get at that. It was cool, man. It came full circle because, and I may have mentioned this before, but I pulled my Mamaw's trick on him. Because what happened was, I got the coolest gift I've gotten in a lot of years this Christmas. I got a really, really cool old vintage guitar passed down to me from my mother-in-law. It's gorgeous. It's
worth a lot of money, isn't it?
Yeah, but it was cool because it was real. The sentiment more than anything, it was really cool to have. It may be, if not the first, it was one of the few things that have been like handed down to me. And so it's kind of a special thing that goes along with that someone's like, and especially when it's not like my dad being like, this was mine, no, yours. Is like, this is my mother-in-law being like, you.
Oh, yeah.
And
man,
she's a
that's
very,
being brought into the inner circle.
Yeah. Well, but it was really cool because she's not a a cold or quiet person at all, but she's just very kind of, well, she is a little bit quiet and is not very like forthcoming a lot, maybe with like her feelings or emotions all the time. Like she's not like a huggy, like gushy kind of person.
I'd rather have guitars than hugs.
Well, no, what I was getting at is when, you know, when I came to thank her for it, there was like a little moment when I came up to like to give her a hug. She like as soon as she just like looked at me and was just like, I love you. And it was really, you know, it was cool.
Don't leave her daughter. Not even on the side of the road.
It was really sweet.
I want my guitar back.
That being said, so this is an old, really vintage old guitar. The case was just falling apart, very, very old. It was one of the chip cases, you know, and I can't believe they left that thing in that, but that's whatever.
I think that's typical of.
Yeah. So my 14-year-old, in typical fashion, what he does is, I'm done with Christmas shopping, and I was ahead this year, dude, and I was so stoked. I'm like, it's done. Like, no more stress. We're done. I think it was 2 days before Christmas.
I really want this.
He wanted an electric guitar, like a legit electric guitar.
Yeah, I remember this.
So, yeah. So, the first second, I was like, well, you're too bad. You got what you got and whatever.
But then you thought, it's a guitar. Yeah. I want to get him a guitar.
Yeah, it's like my wife looks at me. She's like, yeah, you're not going to get him a guitar. You just, say whatever you want to. So I made that happen, but he didn't know. And it was really, you know, wasn't sure if I was going to be able to find anything in my budget that quick to have it there by Christmas. So I did find it, got him a cool little Stratocaster, way cooler than what I started off on. Perfect for him right now. Excuse me. So I had it back in the bedroom, and I got it all ready to go. He had no idea. So when he left the room for a second, I had taken his new guitar and put it in that old chip case after I had gotten the guitar that was given to me.
I see.
So I was like, hey, Lane, move that case out of the way so you guys can open gifts, or just make sure I didn't leave anything in it. So he went to open it up, and his Strat was in there.
That's cool.
It was cool.
Well,
my grandmother did that to me when I was a kid.
But this didn't really care about Christmas that much, right?
Oh no, he was totally like stoked on that.
Okay.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, it was. You know, yeah, it was. And dude, he's really surprised me, man. He's playing every single day. He's taking it like super serial.
What's he like to play?
That's even
Nirvana.
funnier.
Nirvana.
No, that's even better. And something else I was going to bring up. This is way call back to an old episode. You remember the episode I was saying that I ran into Dane, our friend Dane,
yeah,
and his kid, and I was like, man, I was so jealous. Like this kid was so indie rock, and like I could see this. Dane, if you're still listening, my kid's just way cooler than your kid now, because my kid, I don't know how it happened, dude, but like he's super into 80s butt rock. All the stuff that dude, like
I thought you were gonna say indie rock.
No.
He wants to play the Def Leppards.
Def Leppard is his favorite.
Oh, love it.
So I've literally been in there showing my kid how to play Pour Some Sugar on Me.
Photograph though is really
well. We're gonna take it easy, Tiger. And but yeah, that Guns N' Roses, Poison. I mean, all this stuff, dude. He's like diving into, and like the Poison thing too. I will tell you, this was funny to me too, because he was like, what my favorite Poison song is? I'm like,
Fallen Angel.
I'm sure it's nothing but a good time, It's like, no, Tearing Down the Walls.
What?
Do you remember Tearing Down the Walls? Yeah, I do too.
Isn't that on the first album?
It's like
it's not on the big album.
It's like oh my God, I don't know why I know this, but it's like the last song on the first side of Open Up and Say Ah.
Oh, okay.
It's like track 5 or 6 or something like that. But yeah, I was just like, okay, well, he's not, he didn't say Your Mama Don't Dance. Like
That's good. Now people have really turned off whatever device is playing this podcast. We're deep diving. Open Up and Say Ah, 1987.
No, man, Bret Michaels still brings them in, dude.
I know he does, yeah. I saw him in 2017, and they were okay.
Yeah.
Def Leppard was the best concert I've seen in my life, I think.
I haven't seen them yet. I've seen Poison a handful of times. But it's cool, man. We have a thing, like, he's my stepson, and it's taken a while for we have like our thing now, like thing that he's super into that I actually know something about.
Yeah,
and we've talked about this on the show before. Like, it's been different things. I mean, as you do, he's went through phases of this and that and blah blah blah. This is the first one I'm like, I I can tell you about this, and I can show you this. So it's it's really. I feel like we got something helps us communicate better now.
I'm sure. It's not just mowing the grass.
Yeah, or lack thereof.
I want to see your name in that yard.
But then the 3-year-old, I was saying that was my favorite part though of just he's just so excited to open. It just everything is a magical.
Did you get some drums?
Well, you gave him drums a while back.
Oh, I just thought maybe you got him, some kind of drum set.
No, it was just a lot of random toys and stuff.
We need to get him an acoustic kit.
But now it's like you can't even bring in like a bag from Walmart or anything without him thinking it's a gift. Like anytime anyone thing comes in the house now, he's like, "Wow!" and he has to open it. Which was a real bummer too because he got so into it. Like you said, we went to my parents the following week to finally celebrate with them, and he had become so accustomed to opening gifts that he couldn't stand it that gifts were there that weren't his.
Oh yeah.
So he was super upset that he couldn't open all the gifts.
Yeah, it's a little, we chuckle at kids when they're younger because it's narcissism. When they get older, it's terrible. But when the kids were like, oh, he thinks everything's his.
Right.
Yeah.
Where's Andy?
Yeah, I'm going to say we're a few minutes here. And I feel like I'm vamping, and I don't know. I think he's going to bail.
This is a first. What episode? What are we up to?
I don't know. I mean, that's sort of debatable because we took such a break that in my mind, I was thinking.
This is the longest we've gone, but I just want to see how many we have in right now.
I think it's 14. I think we did 14 in 2022.
We have 15.
Okay.
The Christmas pod was 15.
Okay. And I kind of felt like that was a good place to say, okay, season 1, but
this is the first time we've had a no-show. I won't stand for it.
How many occurrences does a dad on Color Me Dad get before they get the hoist, the heave-ho?
It's Spider-Man law.
Everybody gets one. Okay.
What do you think?
Well, I mean, I feel like he's still coming. So it's like a tardy. If he shows up, he's just tardy.
If I had to guess,
I got a great Andy Hott story, by the way, on tardy.
Okay. If I had to guess, and this is pure speculation, I would say he's dead.
Oh, he's dead. Okay, that makes total sense.
I don't see. That's the only excuse. That's the only thing I will accept.
Well, I've known Andy for 30 years, and I can tell you.
Well, no, he can't die. We've talked about that. He's how many lives is he up to? He still has like 2.
Probably, but I've known Andy for 30 years, and he's definitely been late.
He could be in jail.
I remember a great time we were practicing, and we had a practice space in Huntington.
You told this story.
Did I?
Yeah.
Well, it's still a good one. I called. This is back before cell phones, and maybe you had a pager. I don't know, but I called, and I'm like, "We're here. Like, we're gonna practice at 5," and it's like 5:40, and he's not there. And I call his house. His mom answers. I can see him in the drive. He's leaving right now. I can still see his car going down the driveway. And he comes in, he goes, "Oh, traffic." So any minute he's going to walk in going, "Traffic, Saturday."
He could be in jail.
Afternoon. He could be in jail.
He could have ran afoul with the same dude that's
he could be accosted by some HPD.
He could have been up around Logan County, again, wearing the wrong pants. And, bumping Death Cab by Cutie. Or is it
Death Cab for Cutie. That's
and,
good.
Same,
That's good.
Officer Bam Bam heard the pod of him.
Oh, you're the guy with the pants, huh?
We meet again, sweetheart.
I got me a job in Huntington. What you think of that, boy?
What if he got a job on a cargo boat that ships cargo pants?
Oh my gosh, that'd be great. He'd probably
left his family. Too much for him. The family, because they just closed on a house.
Oh, you're talking about Andy leaving his family to go on a cargo ship to sell cargo shorts.
Sure.
Makes sense in this
just
economy.
Leave it all behind. It's a lot of stress.
I'll say he has been moving into a house and getting a house ready. So that's a big deal for a family. I remember twice buying a house and twice moving into a house, and it felt like the biggest thing going on in my life for what seems like months. Looking back, it probably was just a month, but still, I give him some grace on it because the weekends are the time for you to move boxes and all that kind of stuff. I bet his weekends are super tight. Let's put it that way.
I think he started a solo pod.
Yeah, he's out there podding about.
He's like Mark Maron now. He's just like in a room by himself and he's like, "I'm going to tell you something else." And he's just like, vamping about.
What would his solo pod be about? Customer service. And how he's been wronged. I mean, I have to be called I'm on Buns. Welcome to Buns. Episode 1 of Buns. I'm on Buns.
You're listening to the Ass Man. I don't know. What was like vintage gaming?
Yeah.
Removing crumbs from a T-shirt. Andy is a person that I can go a long time without seeing Andy or talking to Andy, and it's right back.
Yeah,
That's
it
what I
doesn't
love
change
about
much, yeah.
Andy the most. I think where some people say, change is good, and that means growth, and people change, and people should change. That's my favorite part about Andy.
He never changed.
He's never changing.
I think
You're never changing.
Except at this point, 2016 on, he definitely has changed.
Oh well, I mean, there's the obvious. I mean,
Yeah.
he's definitely has changed for the better,
Right.
Of course, but at the core, there's still
crumbs on the old
at the core there's
Dr. Pepper shirt.
there's still merit. Andy rules, and
I'll mow my grass when you come over and mow it for me. That's when I'll mow my grass.
I love him to death.
I'm not
That
talking
being
just
said,
ignorant.
I love him to death. That being said, he's out as far as I'm concerned.
You're going to fire him? Does it take a quorum?
Are you suggesting that I can't fire him?
Well, it'd be pretty tough. There's 3 of us, and so if one of us goes off the rails, then both of us would have to agree. And I'll tell you, at Andy's lowest point, I was still pinging him every few weeks. Are you alive? Where are you?
He's totally out of the group text. Speaking of, you guys are the only 2 people I do group text with. I despise it.
Do you know?
But I think that's because it's really not that though. It's just me and you.
Oh, I think he reads every one of them.
Is a group text with Andy really a group text?
He doesn't comment very much, but there are certain things I can say that I know I will get. And I've done that in the past. Like, he hasn't said anything.
If you bring up anything involving a modem.
all morning, we'll text back and forth, and he won't say anything, and I'll put something in there specifically to razz him. And it's like, I know he's watching. He's just not talking.
Those are always the things I could not care less about, too. So
Right,
it's like,
right.
Andy's going to finally respond, and I'm like, oh, yeah, of course you'll respond.
From the very beginning of this, I've talked about the Matrix, where we all kind of land on these different things. And he and I have tech stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
Little tech business.
I think we're going to be fine without him. I'm not worried about it.
No, I think we'll be boring as crap. You don't think this is... We're lucky to have gone, 17 minutes here, 15 minutes.
I think it was good to have him here at the beginning, like while I kind of get my bearings and figure out what I'm doing.
To help
but
you along.
In a perfect world, I'll finally get this down where you're handling all the beep boops, and I'm really
You could share with the world. Color this dad. Color this dad.
Deep thoughts. The continental breakfast.
Yeah, we'll just turn it into the continental breakfast.
Or we just bring in Andy Hot. You were just talking about Andy Hot. We can just bring in another Ando.
Yeah, we could have a replacement. Andy Hot is intelligent in ways to, back then at least when he and I were hanging out a little bit in the 90s, he was intelligent in ways to avoid work. We both worked at the same place, and he showed up late. It was like 3 or 4 minutes late, and they were real mad at him because, it was one of those things like, that's a tardy. You're 3 minutes past. You get a grace. Maybe it was 3 minutes past the grace. You get a 5-minute grace, and after that, so he sat down and went and got a soda, got his lunch, and they're like, "What are you doing?" They'd already reamed him for coming in 5 minutes late, and he's like, "I'm already tardy. It's tardy up till 25 minutes. It has to be 45 minutes for it to be
make it worth my while."
Yeah, it's like 45 minutes is a no-show, so I'm going to sit here for 43 minutes and eat my sandwich.
Well, what's amazing about that is, I was going to tell you, before you said that, I was going to be like, stop, I'm going to tell you, I already knew that he was going to try to reason with him. But knowing Andy the way that I do, that he sat there and he figured all that out in his head, but he's just like, well, I mean, I'm already going to get you this.
Right.
I can have the sandwich now. Enjoy the sandwich. Like he sat there and mapped all this out before he,
he's real.
He weighed the risk involved.
He read the book. Like me, I would snap to it and suck it in and go, okay,
sorry guys, sorry.
Totally.
I'm here. Like, well,
now,
I'm already late.
Talking about that call center reminds me of another great Doug story. And it really doesn't have anything to do with Doug. It was Brian and Bruno worked at that place with us. Mm-hmm. And at the end of a day on a Friday, this is like 98, probably 1998. And one of them got a call. The worst thing to do is you're looking at, it's 4:58, 4:59, and you get a call. The call hits your thing.
Right.
So I think it was Bruno who did this. It was one of the two. They were sitting together. And I think one of them got a call for Bell Atlantic. So people were calling about their bill. So he talked to this woman for like a minute until it hit 5, and he was like, I know what to do. I need to transfer you to another department. And he transferred it to Doug's house. And he stayed on the line and heard Doug's mom answer, and then he completed the transfer. So he put this somebody from New Jersey, probably. All of our customers were from New Jersey, and transferred them to Doug's mom.
Hey, what's going on over here? What? I'm sorry. Doug's mom, such a sweet lady. I love her.
I wonder if she remembers that. Be a great question. You remember getting a random call from somebody from New Jersey?
I remember Doug, like everyone used to just always love Doug's mom so much, and she was just always the sweetest lady, and to the point where sometimes it would just aggravate him, like of how her sweetness and kindness to others would sometimes aggravate. I remember him showing up at my house one day, and he walks in my room, and as soon as he walks in, he just throws something at me. And I'm like, what was that? And I look, and it's an oatmeal cream pie. And Doug just has this pissed off look on his face. And I'm like, why are you throwing an oatmeal cream? I was leaving the house, and Mom gave me 2 and said, here, one for you and one for Josh.
He didn't want you to be in his special boat, getting a treat.
He also had to go, like anybody else just would have left. He had to deliver it because he promised he would. So he was gonna,
Did you ask him for the receipt?
That's PJ. There would have been there definitely would have been paper in that.
Here's a receipt. She wrote me out a receipt.
I saw a couple stories this week. I wanted to
real quick. We're 20 minutes in, so that's an official tardy. It's our first tardy.
Who's tardy?
I guess he's maybe a no-show.
Who's tardy? I don't even know who you're talking about.
Oh yeah, it's this guy I know.
Yep. I'm done. I've washed my hands of it. So
you have pink paper? We gotta give him a pink slip.
I know lots of dudes with kids. All of them are funnier than Andy. I respect all of them way more. I'm just saying. This is I'll get to work on this.
We're gonna have to come up with bylaws. I don't think we can do it first instance. We're gonna have to institute a policy and then follow the policy. That's that's the adult thing to do.
I think Andy should have to pay dues from now on.
Oh, if you're late, you got to pay.
Did he didn't call? Did he call?
No.
So that's a no call, no show.
That's. I think I like the Spider-Man rule, so we'll have to look at the next time.
I read a couple stories this week that really were just so stupid I wanted to mention to you. The first one was, how do you, you're a really big Marilyn Manson fan, aren't you?
Not at all. I'm aware that he has a career. I have passed by it a couple times, looked in the window, shielded my eyes.
So I'm a total moron. I actually saved the news story in my phone because I wanted to share it with you. And, of course, I made a little note here that I wanted to bring it up. And when I did that, I deleted the source, so I can't read you now directly from it. But I'll give you the gist of it. Apparently, there was a young lady that recently went to go she liked Marilyn Manson so much, in fact, she wanted to see, the genius in person.
I think that probably didn't go well. He probably had Bermuda shorts. He was playing golf.
No. She went to go see him live.
I'm just saying, if you go look behind the curtain, I bet he's a normal, totally normal dude.
Yeah. I don't know.
I think it's wrestling. Billy Corgan's talked about it before. He and Marilyn Manson.
I definitely don't think he's stupid.
No, I'm not saying he's dumb.
I'm
saying he probably drives a Beamer and.
Oh yeah.
and doesn't have any makeup on when he goes out. Probably has short hair. It's probably all wrestling at this point.
Well, that's even more genius. Like he's almost like he can kind of go do what he wants. Really, you put on a baseball hat,
Not,
you know, it's
not
like
be
you're-
noticed. Yeah, without the makeup.
Sure. But no, this lady, she goes to see Marilyn Manson. She has a great time and proceeds to have many, many alcoholic drinks, as you do. Watch it, because I would assume you would have to be.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to be straight and listen to that.
You're not going to sit through that sober. She continued to drink and drink and drink. After the show, she drives. She either left the show. I think she may have been she got so drunk and belligerent she was asked to leave. Oh. She got kicked out of the venue for I don't remember exactly what she stirred up some mess. She was asked to leave. On her way home, she crashes through a house.
Okay.
She wrecks her car. She's now suing the venue for serving her alcohol.
Oh, wow. This is a good conversation piece for sure.
Yeah.
It's their fault.
Let me see if I can find it again.
Well, I mean, you know what? Are you surprised? I mean,
No.
we blame the
I'm
chair.
not surprised at all.
We definitely blame the chair that we just climbed up on and fell off of.
Right.
That chair.
Yeah. Like I blamed you for getting the text at the Ryan Adams show.
Yeah, that's my fault. I knew where you were and what was going on. But I mean, that's kind of like the world today. You know, I was just driving, minding my own business, drunk as a skunk, and that road went straight when I turned. I'm gonna sue the city.
Yeah. Okay.
I turned left, went into a house, and that road didn't keep me on it.
A woman who got wasted at a Marilyn Manson concert blew. She wrecked her car and the car exploded. She blew up $15 million worth of property.
Wait a minute.
She's suing the company that served her. A 26-year-old got into an explosive accident when leaving a. Oh, this was old too. This was a 2019 Marilyn Manson concert in Canada. She was sentenced to 3 years in prison and is suing a drink company for its part in her behavior. So I guess she's suing like Budweiser or whoever it was.
The fact that you mentioned Canada, that gives it a whole other paint job, because I just read an article this
wrecked
week.
your car, hey? Don't worry about it.
Listen, I just read an article this week of a guy. He was married to this woman. He had a job, and what he started to do was bet on horses. He won a little bit of money, and he thought, I'm going to bet more. I'm going to buy my wife this great vacation she's always wanted. So he bet money and started to lose, and got so addicted and lost so much money that he started to embezzle from his work to cover his losses. So he embezzled like $60,000, and then they caught him. And so now he's fired. He's got to pay back $60,000. There's, prosecution, but we won't prosecute if you do restitution. So he's at the point where his wife sees this, forgiving him. So then he pretends to have had a job, but he doesn't. He tells her, I got a job. Every day he goes and bets on horses because he gets the great idea. I'm going to get myself out of this jam by betting on horses.
That's what we do as human beings. It's like,
so
I'm going to dig myself deeper in this ditch to get myself
So
out.
Long story short, he steals all of her money out of the bank account from her job. He doesn't really have a job. He gambles it all away. Her checks start to bounce.
That's his wife. That's his money.
Well, let me tell you. So what he ends up doing is his wife finds out about it. He's up for like 60 hours straight because it's a stressful time in his life. He finally goes to sleep.
Also meth.
And while he's asleep, he gets up, drives 20 minutes to his mother and father-in-law's house, and tries to kill them.
Of course.
And he kills one of them, and the other one wakes up while he's strangling him and thwarts the plan. So one of them lives. So he blames it on sleepwalking. And you know what? The Canadian court and the jury bought it and acquitted him. And the wife is still with him. Well, I don't know they're with him now.
What?
I'm not kidding you. Look it up. Look it up.
What are they putting in the syrup?
It's
over there?
it's maple leaves. I don't know what it is, but they're bizarre. And I know people here would try that crap, but it wouldn't fly. But it flew in this case.
That's a 26-year-old woman left a Marilyn Manson concert, wasted and devastated the residents of a Canadian street after an explosive car crash. Danella Lewis, who pleaded guilty to 4 counts of impaired driving causing bodily harm in October of 2020, caused an estimated of $10 to $15 million in damages. She was sentenced to 3 years in prison in February 2021. She is now suing the venue for kicking her out of the venue despite her level of intoxication. Referred to as the car bomb fiasco. You see the incident, blah, 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 blah. Let's see here. Lewis crashed her Ford Fusion, which had been registered under her father's name, into a single home.
I'd sue Ford.
They
shouldn't make
to a
those.
single
They
home,
shouldn't
but
make
moments later, a broken gas line caused the crash to set off an explosion that ripped apart 4 homes and injured 7 people. Wow.
Well, she better sue to get the money she's going to need.
This is Marilyn Manson's fault.
I think it's part of his pyro show. Mm-hmm. Extended pyro. That's what you could say.
Great White opened up.
That's not funny. That's not funny at all.
It just became funny when we both scalded each other at the same time. You know what?
We shouldn't laugh at that. Everywhere where Great White goes.
If you take that out, I will kill you.
Oh my gosh, run, it's Great White.
I'm not going to take that out.
We're going to get sued.
But yeah, it's obviously not her fault, though. She, the venue gave too many drinks to everyone that were there. No one there was wise to the fact that these drink companies, in fact, put alcohol in the beverages.
I was just dry. I just said, give me something to drink. I don't care.
I was just thirsty. My doctor said, dehydrated. You're going to get dehydrated if you go see Marilyn Manson.
You want to know what's ironically funny about what you just said? The only alcohol I've had in 30 years was an accident.
Really?
We're sitting in a restaurant, and somebody gets...
Old sipperoo.
You
got the old switcheroo pulled off.
Well, no, it wasn't a switcheroo. It was me not reading the instructions, because somebody gets this big coffee drink with whipped cream, and it looks great, and I'm like, I want one of those. And so they brought it to me.
Sambuca.
I'm 40 years old. They brought it to me. They didn't card me. And so I drank it, and I was like, oh, there's something.
This Coke's gone bad.
There's something in it.
Somebody put something in my drink.
But it was ordered. It was ordered appropriately. Just I didn't know what I was doing.
Was it delicious?
Oh, it was fantastic. Yeah. It was like coffee and Kahlua.
See, I drank too much for too long, and I will say straight up, I never enjoyed drinking it. Like I enjoyed, you
wanted the result, but you never enjoyed it. It wasn't like you liked that.
Right.
Drink.
It's like some people now would be like, well, I could sit and barter with myself and be like, well, I haven't had a drink in over 3 years now. So I could go enjoy a margarita if I wanted to.
You wouldn't enjoy it.
But why? I didn't enjoy it when I drank alcohol every day. Like, what's the point? It's
like non-alcoholic.
If I'm not gonna have 16 margaritas, the one is.
So like O'Doul's, you wouldn't enjoy it.
No,
like
non-alcoholic. My dad on the flip coin has never. I mean, I'm sure he did when he was like a teenager, but my dad hasn't drank since I've been alive. He'll totally once in a while buy O'Doul's, like for the taste of
if you like it, yeah.
But yeah, that's it's always been gross. Never.
Me, I'm addicted to Perrier.
It's a manly spritzer.
Yes, indeed. That's the manliest of spritzers.
There was another story.
Is it an Andy story? We may as well bring them all out since we got to cover this guy's.
Well, no, there's another story I saw too that I thought was funny, and it wasn't so much that this story is funny. It's what's funny is how many times I've seen this now. As I read another story where homeboy goes through McDonald's, goes to get his Big Mac or what have you, and finds thousands of dollars
in the Big Mac or in the bag?
In the McDonald's bag.
Okay.
This is not the first time I've seen this story, by the way. This is
so happened. Why would you report it? You would just drive away.
Well,
he reported it.
No, you wouldn't.
But this guy did. Is he from Canada?
No. He straight up. He felt bad. He went to the place. They were all crying. They had no idea what happened to. Like they were like, "Oh my God, thank you." I mean, this was thousands of dollars.
What was the story? Why was it in a bag that could have been?
That's what I'm getting at. These stories I've seen. I see these a few times a year. It seems like, and why are these people at McDonald's like counting the register, doing what have you? And they're like, just put it in one of our takeout bags over there by the window where we put all the food we're gonna hand out.
Just put it right by the
Why
trash
does this
can.
keep happening?
Put it down in the trash can. That way we'll remember where we put it.
Yeah, like what is going on? Like, this is a major organization. This is like, again, Google it, man. This thing has happened multiple times. But yeah, they gave the guy. I mean, this was thousands of dollars in this bag. They were so happy. They said like the employees were like crying, hugging him because it was going to be, it was their job.
Oh, yeah, sure.
They gave him free McDonald's for like a year. They gave him. I mean, they made it worth his while, for being honest. But there was another story.
McDonald's for a year would be about $20,000.
Let
me tell
how
you.
many youngins you got.
Well,
That's
yeah.
a lot of dang Happy Meals, son.
You try to buy a number 7, it's $18 today.
When they start selling them Beanie Babies and putting them in the Happy Meals again, you're going to have to buy 13 a week till you get the St. Patrick's Bear.
The color you want.
But no, there was a story about a year ago that I saw, and this was way better. But this dude takes his grandson through I think this happened in Atlanta, actually. The dude took his grandson through the McDonald's drive-thru, got him a Happy Meal. Grandson opened the Happy Meal, and there was a joint in the Happy Meal. Like,
Just in the bag
there's
or in
your
the
toy.
nugget box?
There's your toy, son. Just smoke on that when you're done with your nuggets. Finish your nuggets or you don't get your pot. But no, so they take it back. But you know what happened is old Marty over there on the drive-thru was like, his shift manager's coming by, and he
takes it out of his ear.
You gotta hide my stash. I'll put it in this bag that I'm gonna hand out. Like, why are these people doing this? Why is it like, just put it in a bag, get rid of it, hand it out?
It's better than him finding it. I saw a clip the other day where somebody to get rid of their stash with a cop behind him. It was a cop's dash cam, and it showed like 2 balloons come out, and they let the balloons go with the stash tied to it, and the cop jumps out and starts shooting at the balloons.
Oh my God, that's awesome. That's awesome.
I want the context. I want the details behind that story.
So if you ever see like any dude driving around with just, like if you
A bunch of balloons in the back.
those aren't clowns driving down the road. Those are dope heads. They just randomly got 16, helium balloons in the back of their car just in case, Grab a balloon. That's what they're for.
Just suck on the helium. It'll take care of it.
That's something else. Speaking of McDonald's too, I've been waiting on today to tell you. I wanted to tell you this as soon as it happened, but I couldn't because sometimes you ever have, since we started doing this, do you ever like see something or have something happen and you're like, I can't tell them yet?
I'm not like that with you guys. Like I don't come up with good content, to be honest.
All right.
I'm only good.
You're kind of boring.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm only good.
I should probably get
But
rid
I'm
of
not
you and
really.
Andy both.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you'd be talking into your phone, I guess. Your memo.
And I need help
your
with
memo
that.
recorder.
I need help
How do
with
I
that.
record a memo on here?
I'll call you and ask you how to do the podcast. I kicked you out. Hey, yeah.
Can you still come and just turn everything on for me and then just get lost because I'm going to talk about you?
I can't do it if you're sitting here. Just don't look at me. So everybody knows I enjoy Walmart. I'm there a lot.
And they have McDonald's inside a lot.
This coincides with Walmart and McDonald's. So I go to I just automatically go to self-checkout now. Like I'm not even going to try. At least my Walmart, there's two like lanes, whatever, checkout lanes, and they're back to the back of the store every time. Like you got to do self-checkout. You got to. Do you get a lot of that too? Like do you use self-checkout?
I use self-checkout for the most part. I mean, unless it's really... Basically, I'm an opportunist. If I'm walking by and I see that there's only one person in one of the lines, that happens sometimes, and I got a lot of stuff, I'll jump in it. But you're right. It's usually like you're at least behind 3 or 4 people, and if I only have 10, 12 items, I can do it quicker myself anyway.
Do you ever have people that like whatever scald you for using self-checkout?
No, I mean, I think that's out there in the lexicon or whatever in the universe. People are like, oh, don't use self-checkout because then, you're not letting Bob do it and Bob's not getting paid and there's less Bobs. And
they're not going to pay Bob anyway. Like that's the way it is. I saw a story the other day. This lady was wigging out because she walked into the bank and there were no employees. I forgot where this was, but she was confused, and it's a completely all automated bank. Like there's no one there.
Well,
Like,
you can go look at automated restaurant on YouTube, and in other countries, like maybe Japan, not only restaurants but just retail stores. You can go in and there's not one person, and you can pick up what you want, and it when you walk through to leave, it scans it, and then it's like you're $180 and you pay. Yeah, I don't know if you want to
leave
get
without
in.
paying. You just they shoot you.
I don't know what happens. I don't know what they're. I mean, honestly, there's probably people in the building, and they're probably watching for that, and they probably react.
But they got like 2 or 3 dudes in there just watching the door, opposed to
Exactly.
35 dudes in there.
Yeah,
watching
Walmart today has 60 people working in there at any time, and a handful, 5 of them are on security, and they're ready to pounce at the door. But yeah, you could eliminate a lot of people, and sadly, I think it is sad that necessity is the mother of invention, and it's sad that for whatever reason it's the necessity to reduce people.
Right.
I think it's bad, but
it's the new thing too. Now there's all these news stories now that are that pop up all the time that I see that are like, now you don't want to use self checkout because that's how they get you, because you get you not on purpose, like you think you scanned something you didn't, and they arrest you. They'll arrest you for shoplifting. They're setting you up to get. Why would they set you up? Like they want you in there spending your money. They're not trying to.
Yeah, right. And the reason I know for sure they're not doing that is because several times I have gotten outside to the car and realized that I didn't scan the water on the bottom of my buggy.
Gotcha.
I'll always take it back and do a separate. Put everything in the car and walk the buggy back in, scan the water, because I feel like I don't know. I just can't live with myself. It's like, is that really a big benefit? $4 of water.
It would bug me too.
So I just go pay the $4 and do it again. I'd probably look stupid walking back in with merchandise and scanning it and paying for it. But anyway, I've done that 187 times, so I know nobody's stopped me.
Right. So I go to use the self checkout, and it's a little bit. I mean, it never takes but a minute, but I'm in the back of the line. It's a little bit big. One of the store managers walks by me, and she goes, "Hey, there's just so you know, there's nobody on 10 right now. Aisle 10's completely." I was like, "Oh, thanks." Whatever.
You continued on.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use the robot. Thanks.
No. I did go over to aisle 10. So dude's standing there, and that's actually, it was strange just in the sense that like it has been so long since I've actually checked out an actual aisle. Like I never do it at Walmart. Like it's always self checkout. So I start the guy starts scanning my stuff. I maybe had like 10, 13 items, something like that. He's scanning, just standing there. So the guy looks at me and he says,
He comments upon your stuff.
no, he looks at me and he says, I'm sorry. He looks at me and he says, "Would you like to hear a fun fact?"
I mean, you don't get this with robots.
No.
Go
This
ahead.
is why you don't use self-checkout. Now, if you want to sell me on it, don't tell me that Bebop's not going to get a job. Tell me that you're going to
get fun facts.
Right. So he looks at me and says, "Want to hear a fun fact?" I said, "Always." He said, "Did you know that McDonald's is not a restaurant? It's a real estate business."
I've heard this before.
I haven't.
I didn't need to go through.
I haven't. I was like, really?
Yeah.
He said, "That's white. They make very little money off the product. The money comes from the licensing and and the franchises."
Yeah.
So they are, which brings me to the point that they are not in the restaurant business. They are in the business of real estate, because once you buy land, you own that land.
Yeah.
I said, "Wow, that's very interesting. It's something." And he continues to scan, and I didn't really comment on it further, which you could tell kind of bugged him.
He wanted some exposition.
So he looks at me and he says,
"You don't want all the details?"
So he looks at me and he goes, "You know, a lot of people that blow their mind when I tell them that. A lot of people."
Your mind not blown.
So I was like, no, it's it's interesting. That's crazy. I guess I never thought of it. And he just keeps scanning, and he's just super. I'm just trying to either. I'm kind of trying not to laugh, or in case, like, honestly, I just kind of. So finally, he gets done ringing me up. He goes to hand me my receipt, and he ends it with, He hands me the receipt, sticks it out. He goes, every 14.5 minutes, another McDonald's opens up. Let that sink in. So I said, all right. I go home. I immediately got in the car. I called Doug before I even pulled out of the parking lot. I told him that whole story. I was like, you have to hear this right now. Rush told him to run in and tell my wife. I'm telling her I can't stop thinking about this kid all night. Like it was amazing to me. And I was literally laying there in bed that night still thinking about this kid. And I just picked up my phone and Googled, how often does a McDonald's restaurant open up?
It was exactly right.
14.5 minutes. That's the first thing. Google it right now.
I'll take your word for it.
I was stunned.
So I have heard this. I've heard this said. I've seen it on social media and memes and things like that. And it's super old. I mean, in the 80s, it was pretty much true because they long ago. I mean, basically, they're creators of content in a sense. And you and I can open our own chain of McDonald's.
Maybe we should.
No, but
Andy's out. I mean, we got to do something.
I imagine that's probably what he's starting.
We need somebody to be on Bones.
But that we go back 30 years, and this was pretty much true. I mean, it got so big that is their focus. And it's like any big company. I've heard CEOs in the last 10 years commenting, I thought I was going to make automobiles, but it turns out I'm in the business of employee benefits.
Manufacturer. They're going to have to change that. Manufacturer.
I just want to promise the world I'll never do my own podcast because, that'd be boring.
The Continental Breakfast?
I'll never do a Continental Breakfast. I'll only set up the microphones because, man, I tell you, I'm boring myself.
What would your solo podcast be?
I don't know.
About how you shouldn't do a
imagine.
podcast.
Yeah,
do a solo podcast about how you shouldn't do a solo podcast.
It'd be about how to set up a podcast. It'd be like how to properly talk into your mic.
Every episode would start with you going, "Hey guys, it's that time again. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry." Yeah, hopefully there's something else you can turn to.
You could do a podcast about other podcasts they
right,
should be listening to.
Yeah, you should listen to this podcast.
And then
turn mine off.
You could get money for the ads.
That's right, for promoting those podcasts and telling people why they should listen. Of course, they'd never listen to mine.
Do you think that's what Andy's doing?
Yeah, that's probably what he's doing. Yeah, he's probably listening to other podcasts and
taking notes.
He's cheating. He's cheating on Color Me Dad.
I hope he's learning something.
He did send us a picture to our group text recently where he got in the car and was listening to one of our podcasts, and it had the picture of Color Me Bad.
Oh, yeah, I did see that.
That was a great contribution to our text thread. And I've seen that as well on a car that we have that puts the picture.
What's that come up as? And that's actually really that's funny and awful at the same time, because that does in fact mean that there are people listening to the show that think that's us.
I don't think so.
That picture didn't have a name or anything. It was just some dude standing there.
Well, I'm the guy with the long hair. Dibs.
Andy is the albino guy with like the noodles hair.
Yeah, I'm the good-looking guy with long hair. Yeah, it's a database, obviously, and I don't understand, the technical side. This is what my podcast would be about: how your automobile knows what music you're playing. And when I listen to The Violent Burning, there's no picture, right? They're not tied in enough. It'll just have a picture of a person with a guitar and it says alternative.
That text you sent me a few days ago regarding The Violent Burning really, really cracked me up.
You're going to have to refresh my memory.
7 minutes.
I got in the car. I turned on a Violent Burning song that I like, and I'm driving my kids, carting their rear ends to dance, and my daughter grabs the phone and looks. She goes, "Oh." I said, "What?" It's 7 minutes of this crap. No, she didn't even sigh. She was like, 7 minutes? Like, yeah, The Violent Burning plays 7 minute songs. Get over it.
The first 3 minutes are just feedback. It's fine. You guys like staring at your feet. You should love this music. Ungrateful.
They like mostly good music, but then they like Taylor Swift.
I've been really, really, really... We've talked about this we talked about this so many times, man, and we've also talked about how we got to. I'm actually going to get to work on the other whole issue with this. Is like, really want to have this dude on the show, but man, I've been diving back into Superdrag again.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
And also I mentioned before too that I'd like kind of fallen out of love with music as before. I've talked about that, like not as crazy about it as I had been. I've been kind of getting the bug again lately. I listened to them recently, and I think they're so great because of the large spectrum of what they are. They're kind of this thing that definitely sounds like them, but encompasses so much.
There's even some...
You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's even some like southern rock sounding songs on the latter.
That still
albums.
sound like their jam.
Yeah.
You know, they're very good at that. Well, this is, you know, you hear it and it's unmistakably them. Mm-hmm. But it's such a large bouquet of what they can do. It's really impressive.
It's a large bucket.
It's yeah. No, it's a bouquet. It's fancy.
Depends on how you pronounce it.
Bouquet.
I give them a rest every now and then, but I do the same thing. I'll get on, especially when I put on Valley Dying Stars. I love that album.
You know what's really, really great that I never gave the time of day to? Fabulous 8-track sounds. Check it out.
Yeah. Next time I listen to Nancy.
It sounds terrible.
Next time I listen to Nancy Griffith, I'll shut it off and turn on.
It sounds terrible, but it sounds terrible. Well, it sounds better than a lot of the stuff we recorded and we listened to back then.
Apparently, he did all his demos on that 4-track, and there's some 4-tracks for Head Trip that I like the 4-tracks. I mean, I like the version better than. I know it doesn't sound like $1 million, but I like the version better than the actual album. It's kind of interesting.
You know, John Davis has 2 kids.
Okay.
Andy's gone.
Oh, we want to get one of his kids to come be on the podcast?
No, we'll get John Davis to take.
Oh,
Andy's
he's a dad.
spot.
Okay.
John Davis calls. I know you kind of like Andy. Like it's kind of like.
Would I trade Andy for John?
It's like Andy's like a dog. Andy's like one of those dogs that like you love him, but he will not stop pooping in the floor. Like you can't get rid of him. I know that's your relationship with Andy. But if John Davis calls you and was like,
"Hey man, I'm a dad. Can I come
I'm
on
a dad.
there?
I know this other Joker you guys had took off. How do you let John Davis take Andy's spot?"
I mean, we could audition him at least.
Yeah.
At least audition.
He'll get it.
Bankrupt Vibration is better in the 4-track world than on Head Trip. Did you like the newest album, the Industry?
Yeah.
Do you ever like just put that on?
Mm-hmm. A lot. Yeah. Quite a bit. Lee's Memory stuff's really good. Newer stuff is really, really good.
Yeah, I like Lee's Memory. I like the Sisyphus. I bought a vinyl off of you. I like that album.
See, this is all Andy's fault right here. We're going into territory
I'm
right
gonna
now.
sue Andy.
Yeah.
Because the show's not good because he's not here to bounce.
We, the listeners, could sue Andy
because it's bad. They tried to listen. It's terrible. Lawsuit.
Yeah.
Don't just turn away.
If you're out there and you're listening, send us an email.
Class action.
Ask Andy.
Ask Andy.
Ask Andy.
Where's Andy at?
Wait, no. Bombard, please, if you listen, all 6 of you out there, I want at least 5 to 6 emails to ask Andy as soon as this airs being what
we should do. Vote yay or nay on booting Andy.
Yeah.
Because it's clear we are at the end of this show for sure, and it's a no-show. It's not a tardy anymore. The only problem with this is everybody's going to vote to kill because keeping doesn't satisfy that I did something, right? Ask Andy at colormedad, that's 2ds.com, with your vote quickly. Save a man's life.
Or kill him. Either one.
We got to end it better than this.
No, I think Andy should sit and think about what he did.
It's a punishment to the listeners.
Yeah.
We normally have some good content. Today we're going to go out on a sour note to pay Andy back for not showing up.
Cue the Ozark Mountain Daredevils.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Ozark Mountain Daredevils.
Let's raise it.
Hey, thanks for listening. If you have any questions or comments, drop us a line at askandy@colormedad. That's DADD.com. We want to thank the good old boys at the OzarkMountainDaredevils.com for the killer bumper tune. Check them out. And check us out on the web at colormedad. That's DADD.com.